Soman, good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, good to speak to you again. It's always a thrill.
Yeah, now I'm in a new place. I think when I talked to you last, I was in New York, and now I'm in St. Louis.
Oh, well, that's a big change. Yeah. Well, congratulations on your new novel. And just as what Rise Must Fall is in the title, is this really the final chapter? What can fans expect?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I think I always had this grand plan for six books in the series. And then I didn't know if I was ever going to get a chance, but I had an idea for sort of a two-hander sequel, where you would track the two schoolmaster brothers who ran the school. And then once the movie came out and there was so much excitement around it, it just seemed like the perfect time to do them. So Rise came out last year, and then Fall just came out, and that's it. That'll be sort of the close to the School for Good and Evil universe.
And what test will the schoolmasters face? Something unexpected for the fans?
I think for me, what was interesting was the original series explores the relationship between two girls who are best friends, and I wanted to do a similarly complex deep dive into the relationship between two boys. In this case, identical twins, twins who very much are on opposite sides of the spectrum. One who is, pretty much pure good and conscience, and one whose instincts lean towards evil. And so the idea of you having these two brothers who are ruling the school together, they're on opposite sides, they would like the other one to be gotten rid of, and yet the school only runs if there's balance between the two of them, and that's how they maintain their immortality, that's how they maintain their powers. And so it just reminded me of the relationship between siblings in general. You love your sibling, you hate your sibling, you want your sibling gone, but at the same time you can't live without them. So it became a way for me to explore familial relationships, just sort of as a general theme.
Survival, death, loyalties challenged. Was this an emotional conclusion for you?
All the books in the series are, I think, super emotional. I think that's what's made them popular, is that they have a lot of unexpected twists, and are rooted in kind of these elemental emotions about family, about friendship, about love, and about the way that we sort of can't live without each other, but also can't live with each other. So I think that's the sort of foundation of the School for Good and Evil world. The magic and the fantasy is just there to serve the relationships, which is why I think it's found such a wide readership.
I was going to say, translated into 32 languages, over 3.5 million copies sold. What's your secret to your success?
I think it's that I'm not necessarily a fantasy writer, even though I write fantasy. I think I'm more interested in the human universality of emotions and the way we interact with each other, and then just sort of bringing that to any genre I'm working in. So I'm always trying to make it so that when you're reading the books, you're just so immersed in what's happening to the characters that you can't necessarily put it down.
And I know you're really great to your fans. I've noticed you're already on book tour, and it's been a good tour so far.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was I'm just at the tail end of it. It was a few weeks. I was all over the place. It's usually a different city every day. And when you write for primarily younger readers, you're going into a lot of schools and doing kind of school shows. So in a lot of ways, it's like being a stand-up comedian, because when you write for older audiences, when you write for adults, you're mainly talking to your fans when you go on book tour. But when you write for a younger readership, you're going into schools where 90% of the kids maybe have never read a book, or aren't into reading. And my job isn't just to get them to pick up this book, but to get them reading at all. And so I love the sort of duality of the job, the ability to get readers into the world of the School for Good and Evil, but also to remind kids that reading is really the path to a better life. And once they give it up, they're in danger of letting their imaginations wither.
Always read the book first before you watch the movie, right? That's an important rule.
Yeah, I tell kids this all the time. When we go into schools, I'll say, all right, how many of you have read The School for Good and Evil? A bunch will raise their hands, and I'll say, how many of you have seen The School for Good and Evil movie? And then double or triple raise their hand. And so I'll say, okay, how many of you who've read the book and read the movie think the movie is better? And no one raises their hand. So I'm like, so if you haven't read the book and you've only seen the movie, that means you're getting second best. That means that all the people who read the book have the experience of knowing something that was better than what you saw. So why would you go your whole life settling for second best? And so that's what I'm trying to convince kids, is waiting for the movie in any capacity, whether it's Harry Potter or anything else. It just means you're always getting the second best version. The best version is going to be in your head when you read it.
Absolutely. And were you happy with the how Netflix and how Hollywood treated your material?
Yeah, I think it was great. It was just fun to see such a huge movie. I think very few authors get that sort of lottery win where you get this massive adaptation with these huge stars and things like that. Obviously they couldn't fit everything in, they couldn't, get everything right, but it doesn't matter. To me, it brought a whole new generation of readers to the School for Good and Evil series. In 10 years after it came out, it's really doing better than ever. So you can only have that kind of luck. Once in your life. But I was really happy for that movie to come out.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Beast and Beauty. Any update on that, on an adaptation, or where we at with that?
Yeah, it's Sony 3000 has the rights to TV series. I finished the pilot, turned it in a week before the writer's strike,
Oh
and
no.
super happy with it. And so the good news is the script is done, and I'm hoping that they, are able to get a team onto it during the strike, because technically I'm not allowed to work on anything while they do their work. So now it's in their hands, and we see what happens, and hopefully the strike comes to an end soon. But my work is done for now.
Well, I can't wait to see that too. Well, it's always a thrill talking to you, Soman, and make sure your next book tour, you consider Las Vegas, man. We'd love to have you here.
I love Las Vegas. As a kid, I went there like 3 times a year, so it was my parents used to take us there all the time. So I know it very well.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Well, thank you for joining me this morning, and let's talk again soon. Thanks so much.